You can have this to
you.
throw it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's happening? We're ready to go. It is Tuesday. Yes. September 30th. September 30th. That's what we got. I just interviewed Pete Carroll. So I just got back from my Pete Carroll interview. As I'm going to say in the monologue, if you have a problem with Pete Carroll being optimistic and positive, then you're going to have a problem. Get over it. If you want to be pissed off about the Raiders, you can, but don't give him any garbage about being excited to get better. That's what coaches do. So he's not going to run around here and be negative like some other people. He's not paid to be negative. He understands exactly where the team is and the struggles. So that's my big takeaway today. I'll get to that in the monologue. Anything else you want to put in there? Do it again. What do I need to know? Big D, as Big D is setting the rules. The Bricktator is back. Yeah, this is pretty easy to understand on what the rules are of this YouTube. For anybody who thinks this YouTube is about anybody other than me, then you're wrong. So I'm going to choose who gets a hang or not. I'm kind of like a bouncer and a bartender.
You know, we're going to have a lot of positive energy. The guys that love to compete and play with passion are going to have a chance at a place.
Your silver and black home to sound off for over 25 years.
Man, I'm loving it, man. They're making my job tremendously easy to be out here with these young, talented players, man. I think we have a really good team. I'm super excited. I'm already loving this fan base, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT, we start today on Tuesday, September 30th, live from Lotus Broadcasting, the hub of Raider Nation Radio. Hope you're having a great day today. I just got back in time from interviewing Pete Carroll. We started at 11:02, went to like 11:12 or 11:13. So I'm going to tell you about that interview. We're going to play it later on in the week. He likes to do it today, early in the week, maybe get it out of the way so we can focus on football. And I'm sure he'll speak to the Raider Nation in the remainder of the week. But I'll tell you about my conversation with him today, which always excites me. I'm excited. I'm one of only, not 32. There's less than maybe 25 people on planet Earth that get to interview a head coach every week. I'm one of them. So I take that very seriously. I think it's an honor to do it. I try to do my best work here. It's a home interview. It's not the other guy from the other team interviewing him. There's a level of dignity and respect, and we asked him the questions about why they lost, and we asked him every question about that. And he was very giving today with that. You know, the opening question I asked to him was, he was at Allegiant Stadium. He addressed the team after the loss, and he went back and looked at the film. What did he see about the film? And he came out of it, and he saw a lot of good things, even though they lost. Please don't underestimate Pete Carroll's ability to understand what's happening in the room. He's a lot sharper, more successful, and smarter than most of us. At least I know he's smarter than me. So when I ask him questions there, I know that we're coming off a loss. He does too. But he had something positive to say. And as we open up the show, that's the focus of the monologue, brought to you by PTs. They fuel the monologue. 5 to 7, midnight to 2, the best happy hour in all of Las Vegas is PTs. Some people like half-price drinks at night. Some like it when they get off of work. And a day like today with all the baseball games, come on. You go to PTs and you can watch baseball, which is fantastic today. So here's my big moment today and what I thought of after my discussion with the head coach. And I told this to everybody who's in our chat already. If you want to get in there, you get a little bit of, I think, added value on what I'm doing here before we come on the radio. And I'll say this again. If you don't like Pete Carroll's optimism, his optimism and where he wants to build the team the way he wants to build it, and the fact that he's going to be optimistic about it, even though he understands the magnitude of a loss, then you're lost. Then you're just not going to participate the correct way on this show, but you can do whatever you want when the show's not on. If you're not going to give Pete Carroll enough respect to say, He's upset that they lost, but he's building something, and here's what he thinks is okay, then you must not be in the American workforce. Or I think you might have went to high school and college. I know I did, and I wasn't great at either one. But people have a plan. And I wake up every morning, the first thing I do when I wake up and give the sign of the cross is I look at the stock market. And it's up and down, and it's usually kind of bad this time of year. But all companies, Fortune 500 companies, all levels of business have a plan. And not every day it's a bed of roses. There's some bad days, like the economy now. Try to get a job in this economy. Try to do a few things here. It's not easy, but you have to have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you have no shot. And Pete Carroll has a plan. And you can sit here and criticize everything that goes wrong, which you're able to do. We want you to do that. But please understand that he does not want to walk into the building negative. His job is to be the face of the franchise and lead the players back to winning, which isn't happening right now after they started off 1-0. They've lost 3 in a row. So because you're angry in Raiderland doesn't mean that when he parks the car and walks in, he's going to feed off negative energy. He's just the opposite. He's a really positive guy when he came in. And he comes in and he sits down with me, and he told me in the interview, we should have won the game. He knows they should have won the game. Are you kidding me? We talked about the special teams blunder, letting someone come and block the kick. He's aware of that. He knows Geno is struggling. And I think that's very frustrating for me. I think it's frustrating for you. I think it's very frustrating for the coach. And his job is to get Geno to play better. How is he going to do that? That's the $64,000 question, or the $6 million question with Chip Kelly or anybody else. I mean, how do you fix Geno Smith, who we know is a good leader? That's unquestionable. He's a good leader. He's a pretty decent quarterback. He's proven that already, even though he hasn't proved that through 4 games that he's playing his best. So the plan's going to be to try to get Geno going again. And everybody else is against Geno outside Raider Nation. So the Colts fans want Geno to fail. The Titan fans want Geno to fail. I mean, look at Denver last night. Do you know that Denver only beat 2 teams so far this year? 2. They beat the Tennessee Titans, the worst team in football, and they beat Cincinnati without Joe Burrow. But Sean Payton's 2-2. He's only got 1 more win than Pete Carroll, but Sean Payton's got an army of members in the media kissing his ass and telling him how good they are. They don't look that good to me. They won last night in a game which is almost a forfeit. It was as close to a forfeit as you'll see in football. Cincinnati showed up, and they should have forfeit. They didn't have Joe Burrow. They were pathetic. But it would have been nice if we were playing Cincinnati the last couple of weeks without Joe Burrow, but we didn't get the luck of the draw. We're also not getting any breaks, and that's a tough thing to say in life because I'm a dad. I'm a dad of 2. And my sons they're really good kids. They're not the kids who come home and go, I'm not getting a break, Dad. I'm getting the raw end of the deal. But when people say that they're not getting any breaks, it's true. We're not getting any breaks. We're not blocking the kick to end the game. We're getting the kick blocked to lose the game. We're throwing interceptions instead of getting it in the seam for a 60-yard touchdown. A lot of those are physical mistakes. Geno is making physical mistakes and mental mistakes now. He's not reading the high safety correctly. We know he has in the past. And then Geno's trying to get the ball into these tight windows because he thinks he can do it, and it's not working out. So when you talk about Pete Carroll, have a level of confidence in him that he can turn it around because he's our head coach in Raider Nation. He's proven it in the past. And if you want to weigh down this whole thing and bring it down, then that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do if you're going to bring it down at that level. But just understand that the guy really is emotionally tied to this team, and he wants to turn it around for you. Now, you could also say, well, JT, you said that about Antonio Pierce. Yes, I did.
Was that Corey?
I did say that about him. And they're coaches that wear their emotions on their sleeve. Pete Carroll's a little bit different. He's very cerebral. He's very smart. He's a college professor. He's a man who's won a lot of games. He's a father. He's a grandfather. He's not like talking to a first-year coach or an interim coach. He's different. And he has a lot of knowledge to give us all here on what's happening. And what's happening right now, it's a struggle. He knows that already. So if you want to make the struggle more mightier and you want to make it more toxic and more louder, then you're going to do what you're going to do. So my job is to tell you what I think Pete Carroll is telling me and what we're going through, how the team can win games, and then they'll win or lose games. I don't know if they're going to win this game or not. I hope they do. But, a lot of people are bailing on Geno now, which I don't think is smart because Geno's pretty much what we have. If you're a Kenny Pickett fan, there's a few of them out there. I get it. If Geno keeps playing poorly, then what's ever going to happen to Geno will be Geno's fault, or Geno will play through it and play at a high level. I hope that he plays at a high level. But for my conversation with Pete Carroll today, he saw something really good other than the outcome of the game that he wanted to talk to us about. It was the run defense. It was Ashton Genty. It was Max Crosby. It was a lot of the things they did well in the game, even though they lost. And that's what he chooses to do. He doesn't choose to be negative and tell his players that they suck, which they don't, and go around there and feed into toxic people that want this thing to go south. His job is to take it to the next level. I think the majority of the people get that. I think the majority of the people really understand that. And the majority of the people want to win and get behind the coach. And these are new people, right? Everybody's new. John Spytek, Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, to Raider Nation. But I have a memory. And I remember what you were all saying about Josh McDaniels and how some people turned on Antonio Pierce. And I don't want you to turn on Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll's a really good guy with an unbelievable track record. And if part of my job is to, if you think I'm a homer or not, again, I could care less. I never really cared. I haven't, I can get mad about it, but I don't care. And I don't think it's my job. I don't sugarcoat it. If people listen to me every day, they hear how critical I am. And Pete even kind of said it in the interview today. He said, talk shows like yours, being mine, and everybody else is talking about it, and Geno's getting it. He's aware of that. But it's not my job to pile on. It's my job to be critical, but hopefully get everybody excited about maybe winning again and then figure out what's going to happen. So Pete's job is he needs to get the players in the right mind to go out and win. I hope everybody understands that, because if you don't understand that, then I'm in a really tough spot with you individually if I can't get you to come through that negativity wall. Once you don't think Pete Carroll wants to win, then you've lost your bleeping mind. Then you're gone off the reservation. You're gone. There's no hope for you if you think a guy like Pete Carroll doesn't want to turn this around. And he does on steroids. He wants this thing to be great. And when I noticed that what he said, and I wasn't expecting at the game, I wasn't expecting the Raiders to lose the way they lost. But I wasn't expecting Pete Carroll, because after the game, he met the media on Monday. And on Monday, he said he was really positive for what he saw on tape. Who has a problem hearing that? Like, what? Don't you want to hear that? Don't you? Like, he didn't say that after the Commanders game. He didn't. You have a press conference after the Commanders game and say, I went home, I looked at the tape, I got all these great things I want to tell you. He did that after the Bears game. He's finally seeing a team through 4 weeks, and it's going to take time, that's resembling the team that he wants. And that's really what we're talking about until the Raiders start winning. If they don't win this game, depending on if they lose and how they could lose, I hope they don't, there'll be a different dialogue about how they lost the game. But if they win the game, they're going to get to 3-3, and they're going to be manageable. Now the schedule is looking really dicey. And I'm going to just tell you that I respect Indianapolis a lot. I respect what they're doing, but I'm not in fear of Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis is a team that's improved. And as Coach Carroll told me, and you'll hear in our interview, that every once in a while a team comes out of nowhere that no one was expecting. Like, no one was expecting Indy to play at this level and do what they're doing now. And then now they are. So Indy is no joke. But Indy isn't the Montana 49ers in their prime with Rice. They're not. And we know what they are. And the Raiders had a couple of good things happen to them with Ashton Genty having 3 touchdowns. I think Brock Bowers is going to get healthier here. But the elephant in the room is the injury to Colt Miller. Because Colt Miller is going to be out. I don't know how long he's going to be out. On Tuesday, we don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. But let's assume he's going to be out a couple of weeks. And I don't think it looks great without him. I don't. I think it could be manageable and good. The offensive line played better in the last game. I think you'd all admit that. But it's not a great offensive line yet. And they lost their best player. So when I look at this, I'm trying to see this now and say, what's the optimism going forward? What's the optimism going forward? The optimism is the head coach saw a couple of good things. Now to balance this as a talk show host, I dip every show in reality. I dip it in reality. So if you're watching on YouTube, we're live in studio. You can see it. Got new Raider gear today. Thank you. At YouTube, JT the Brick. Find the channel, JT the Brick YT on YouTube. Please help us get to our goals and get more people in here. I'll dip the show in reality first off and play you a Geno interception. I think this interception was key to him throwing to the wrong potential spot here. This was a mental error by Geno Smith. Here it is.
Bears come with just 4. Geno in the pocket, fires down the middle, and it is picked off again. Kevin Byard for the second time. And he's brought down on the far sideline by Jackson Powers Johnson at the 24. But the first half turnover by the Raiders sets up Chicago inside the 25 for the third time in the first half.
That was terrible. And the Raiders were manageable getting off the field after all these turnovers. Geno was locked into the receiver. The safety saw Geno's eyes, and Geno threw a pass that he regrettably wants back. That was on Geno, more so than the coverage and everything else that's happening. Okay, so as we look at this, we're clearly seeing Geno Smith play poorly, making a bad decision on his own that, again, not everything's perfect when it comes to protection, but you got to tip your cap. So Ian Rappaport, let me stop the show. Ian Rappaport 3 minutes ago. Sources, Raiders tackle Colt Miller received bad news on his ankle following further testing. It's a high ankle sprain and a hairline fracture rather than just a sprain. The MRI revealed the sprain, a CT scan revealed the fracture. He's headed for injured reserve. So that's according to Ian Rappaport, which is my job to tell you when Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport report. They're good reporters who have good sources. So we'll wait for the Raiders announcement on this, but Colt Miller has a serious injury, and the Raiders are going to have to be next man up and get through that. So that is not what I expected today. I was hoping to be a high ankle sprain, which is brutal and could last maybe 2 to 4 weeks. This looks to be more serious. Looks to be more serious there, so we'll wait for more information. So we played that Geno interception, which was just a bad ball. Now we go to the part of the game where I thought the game was lost because I didn't have a lot of time to get to this yesterday. The Raiders had 1st and goal at the 7-yard line with an opportunity to go up 2 scores. The first play, they ran it to Ashton Genty. He lost a yard. Then it was 2nd and 8. They lost 1 yard. Follow me with the math. On 2nd and 8, they ran it off the left side, and he lost 3 yards. 3 yards on a rush. So that play, that decision to hand it off, I think was a mistake. You only had 2 more downs left, 2nd and 3rd down. Ashton went 3 yards backwards. But why'd they run it there? Ashton was having a pretty good game. They thought they had something going with Ashton. That was a mistake. And then on 3rd down, this low throw incompletion really cost the Raiders the game.
Shotgun to Smith. Back to throw. Eyeing the left. Has his man. It's dropped at the 3. It was a low throw. Dante Thornton trying to get to the turf to catch it. He's frustrated. He thought he had a chance at his first career touchdown. Instead, it was thrown low, and the Raiders are going to have to settle for a short field goal attempt.
All right, so I don't think he would have scored a touchdown there. I'm more pissed off that that ball was thrown short of the end zone than I am that it was dropped. I am, because it's a factor that I'm disturbed about, that ball wasn't thrown to Brock Bowers. Dante Thornton's a rookie. He's never played ever in a game with that type of pressure, with that much on the line. And he was the choice for Geno. I don't think he should have been the choice. I think they should have had a play in Henderson that should have went to Brock Bowers or should have went to Jacoby Myers. And then Dante Thornton, if he was the outlet there, they checked down. How many years have I told you on this broadcast, I am sick and tired of check downs in the red zone. Throw it in the end zone. In the end zone, get a flag, 1st and goal at the 1. Throw it in the end zone. But maybe they didn't want to throw it in the end zone because maybe Geno wasn't playing well and they didn't want to turn it over. Maybe they were making sure at a minimum they'd get a field goal. And if that's the case, oh boy, then oh boy, if they were doing that. So when I see this, I'm wondering to myself, why is Geno checking down on 3rd down? Because if that ball's thrown in the end zone, which shouldn't be difficult to throw a touchdown in the end zone from the 11 to 15-yard line, but Geno's having a bad run. So here's the field goal that the Raiders settled on, which I think cost them the game.
Cole calls for the snap. He puts it down, and the field goal is good. So Carlson good from 29, and the Raiders extend the lead, but it is still a one-possession game. Raiders 24, Bears 19.
I really believe, this is just my opinion, not that of the coaches and the organization. I really believe that they lost the game right there. I really believe that that's where the game was lost. That they went out and they checked down on 3rd down, which means they didn't have confidence in a touchdown. That's concerning to me. I'm worried about that. I am. Because I don't know how you don't have a play in Henderson that works on 3rd and goal with the game on the line to get to 2-2 and avoid 1 and 3, and you don't have that play. And I think we have the right to know why we don't have that play. So with all of that happening here, I would like that to be cleaned up. I would like when the Raiders get to the 5-yard line, 7-yard line, not to try to run it in because we don't have Colton Miller. We just found out. We don't. So we don't have Colton Miller, our best offensive lineman. I know if Brock Bowers is cleared to play, we got Brock. And we have Jacoby. And we have some guys, hopefully Michael Mayer, who can catch a ball in the end zone. Because if we're not taking shots at the end zone on 3rd and goal, then we're in trouble because we're not very good. We're not a very good offense right now. So you might as well go for it. That's the way I think of it. That field goal, and it was right to kick the field goal there. They're going backwards. They're not going forwards. They're going backwards. So you got to kick the field goal. But the kick in the field goal lost the game. Definitely lost the game because you knew the Bears were going to score. And then the Raiders would be playing from behind, and then they got a field goal blocked. And on this field goal that was blocked, it was critical here because the Raiders had a fundamental breakdown on who was supposed to block on the outside.
Good snap. Cole puts it down, and it's blocked. The Bears got around the edge and blocked the kick. Josh Blackwell, the special teams extraordinaire. And Chicago, on that block kick, is going to win it here in Las Vegas.
Yep, that's it. That's Jason Horowitz on the call. So that's it. And I'd like to know from you what you would like to see the philosophy be on the Raiders when they're down there in the red zone. Because, as I told you, we dip the show in reality. We dip it in reality. Maybe someone told me outside the organization who covers football at a high level, I said, what do you think about them not getting more yards for Carlson on that game winner? And they said, clearly it doesn't look like they had a lot of confidence in Geno to put the ball in the air anymore. Because I had a couple people text me, why didn't they go for more yards? Have you watched the game? Have you watched Geno the last couple of weeks? You're in field goal range. It's a long field goal, but at least you know you got Carlson. What do you want to do? Pick up another 12 yards? Okay, what happens if Geno throws another pick? That's what he's been doing. So there's a way to play the game. I just thought they needed some more yards. So that's it. So if you're going to bail on the Raiders because Colton Miller's hurt, go bail on him. There's plenty of Raider fans who are not going to do it. Positive fans. If you're really upset, I understand that. We have phone lines open for you. if you can keep it professional. 702-365-9200. Our guests today include Alex Eshelman, Raiders Insider from ABC 13. Jeff Sherman's going to join us from the Westgate on Lamar Jackson and the new odds. A lot of odds have changed on Super Bowl odds. I think it's going to be very interesting to you. And then we're going to have Dalton Wasserman from PFF. He's going to join us later on in the show. We got a busy show lined up, but a lot of it has to come in with some of the phone calls and what you think. Corey in Illinois can start us off here on Raider Nation Radio. What's going on, Corey?
35-year fan, JT, and the only thing we want to hear in Raider Nation is stop with the program. We need it now. We're tired of hearing we need to wait and let it play out because all we keep doing is band-aiding every year, JT. We want to see.
Good. Again, I'm stupid enough to take his call. That's on me. So as we open this up for those who are there and are going to say you don't want to hear about what's happening in the progress, hopefully going forward, you don't have to worry about that. You can do whatever you want on that. The coach wants to talk about progress and getting better and winning games. His number one priority is to win. His number one priority is to win games. And they're not winning now. They've lost 3 in a row. So losing 3 in a row is really bad because you only played 4 games. Losing 3 in a row when you're 7-2, you can manage. The Raiders now have an opportunity to get back into it by beating the Colts. I don't know if they're going to beat the Colts, but they should play better because the Colts told us that there's some things they're optimistic about. And the other thing that's very interesting to me is with Colt Miller down, someone's going to have to, Colt Forsythe or someone having to step up. I don't think Raider Nation has a tremendous amount of confidence in that, but whoever gets that job, it would be nice to have the support of the fan base to do a nice job and to keep the position there warm for Colt Miller. And there's not a lot of trades I think that's going to go on. I don't think you're going to be able to trade for a left tackle, but Pete Carroll told me earlier today that they worked out some guys today. So they're working out some players today. They understand the situation that they're in. All right, we're ready to roll today. I want to thank my friends at Modelo, proud partner of the show. The power of Modelo and the fighting spirit is what this show's based on. And we got a live show October 10th, noon to 2 at Top Golf, brought to you by Modelo. That's going to be really cool. So make sure you line up with us for that broadcast. Yep. All right, how we doing, everybody?
Was that a roll?
No, it's not a rule, but just if I see it again. More phones should be coming. Yeah, so I don't have to be the Bricktator today, do I? Yeah, I got to get these baseball games on. Thank you for that. I'm pretty focused on the Yankees today. Pretty focused on my Yankees today. It's just a pain in the ass to find baseball in the postseason, right? Because we all have to get used to going back to what, TBS? Is that where I'm going? TBS. I don't know if I got Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. There it is, ESPN. What do I got today? Guardians, Tigers, 2-1 Detroit. There we go.
Understanding the many things in a mother's life affecting her pregnancy is important.
Yeah, hey, Bob, let's not rip on Colt Miller, who's injured. You know, he's saying he didn't sniff a Pro Bowl. No, he has sniffed the Pro Bowl. He's been pretty close to going to a Pro Bowl. But, you know, he's not the best left tackle in football, but he's a really good player.
The survey asks moms about their experience before, during, and after pregnancy. Responses are confidential and used to help improve the health.
All right. Yeah, that's concerning news about Colt Miller's injury. He's a big loss. He's a very good player. This isn't a democracy. It's a brickocracy. Say that. It's not a democracy. It's a brickocracy. I'm in charge of this thing. And I think I'm pretty reasonable. I think I'm pretty reasonable.
It was crazy. Actually, we were there. Wait, like in person? How'd you swing that? Allegiant had a super affordable nonstop flight out there. And with how low the airfare was, buying tickets to the game was a no-brainer.
Hold my beer. I'm going to Allegiant.com right now. Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Non-stop flights from Las Vegas to Santa Maria, California. One way for as low as $44.
Yeah, anybody who talks shit about Mark Davis will be banned forever. Not for a day or two. You're going to be banned forever. And then we'll figure out who you are with the fake account. We'll ban that one forever. So that's all we're going to say there. And that is it. So anybody who takes a shot, you can be disappointed at the team and their record. No problem with that. You get personal with the coach or the owner, and you're out. You're out. Augie's upset that Raider fans are bashing Geno Smith. You know, Geno Smith's playing poorly. I think he's going to play better. I do. STL Raider wants me to break out the ban hammer. We'll break at Jess 42 for Jeff Sherman. All right. I'm going to start with number 2, Mikey.
All right, full go on football betting. And the best way to do it is to sign up today for a new William Hill, Nevada mobile
Okay, coming back with a
Thank you. Thank you.
After placing your first qualifying wager with the William Hill Nevada mobile sports app, you'll never miss another bet. William Hill has the largest wagering menu, and the app features same-game parlays, early cash out, and live in-play wagering on all major sports. For more information, official rules, and to see participating sign-up locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by The Black Hole. Become a member of football's most notorious fans.
Geno Smith is under center. Ashton the setback. Motion man is Tucker. Geno Smith rolls out to his left. He's got Genty in the flat. Catches it at the 5. Makes the turn. Into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. Ashton Genty, his first career receiving touchdown. And the Raiders capitalize off the Max Crosby pick. March down the field and take a 6-3 late first quarter lead.
Jason Horowitz on the call. JT back with you. We want to remind you, we got great partners here, some of the best of the best. And when it comes to the Fountain Blue, if you haven't been in the Fountain Blue and you're from out of town, make sure it's one of the first spots you come to when you see it. It's majestic. It's amazing. And they have the Hall of Champions on the second floor. And it brings together the rarest memorabilia from the world's most celebrated icons. It's the collection of Jim Gray, his wife Fran, and Tom Brady. From Muhammad Ali's boxing gloves to Oprah Winfrey's Presidential Medal of Freedom. Memorabilia celebrating Elvis Presley. See Jackie Robinson's barrier-breaking bat. And all 7 of Tom Brady's championship ring. Each piece tells a great story narrated by Morgan Freeman. So it's highly worth it. I would recommend it. Experience the history. Get your tickets now at FountainBlueLasVegas.com. Mikey in L.A., good friend of mine. This guy's been a diehard Raider fan forever. What are you thinking here today, Mike?
JT, what's up, buddy? Sorry I missed your last game. So on that note, I just got a couple of comments. So all you Raider negative haters who are calling in, let me remind you of something. When we got Pete Carroll, he got hired to come in and to build something, to build a foundation, to build it. And you're not going to build it overnight. It's going to take time. Am I frustrated? You're absolutely damn right I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with Judo with the interceptions and not playing well. But what am I going to do? Go in the locker room and say, Gino, you're playing like crap? You suck? No. You've got to be positive, just exactly what Pete Carroll's doing, and you have to believe in the system and just be patient. That's the bottom line. I know we've heard that phrase before. level and in the pro level over and over and over. And right now, Gino is struggling. What I'm seeing, I'm no coach, trust me, but he's like second guessing his throws.
Mm-hmm.
He is like staring down the receiver, and the DBs are just jumping about, and something, it's his confidence right now, and he's got to get over that. But that's why Pete Carroll is a great coach. That's why he's a professor at USC. This is what he does. He will get you to play at your highest level. And so for all you haters who are calling in and want to throw in the towel, don't forget, we're only 1-3. If you guys thought you were going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and win the AFC West, you were unrealistic because we don't have that roster right now. 2 years from now, when Pete Carroll is going to build it, you bet your ass that's going to happen. But you have to be patient. And just throw in the towel right now and just sit there and knock the team down and say that Pete Carroll doesn't want to win. The players don't want to win. They're not trying. You're full of it. You're not watching the game. Those guys are busting their ass out there, and they believe it. That's including Geno Smith. He took responsibility for all the mistakes he's made, and that's one thing. You have to step up as a leader and take the responsibility, and then do better next time. So we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. We have to believe in our coach and our system, and that's why he was hired, to build a foundation and relax. We're only 1-3. We're not 1-12. Like you said, I didn't even realize that the Bengals, that the
Broncos
have only lost. The only win they got is against them and who they've lost to. So if you look at it, yes, we should have won last week. It was a fluke that unfortunately, Miller gets knocked out, and the next play, the guy comes in who's never played the game and went the wrong way. Was he unprepared? Maybe so. Will he make a mistake? We'll all make mistakes in our lives, and this unfortunately cost the game. There was always about 5 or 6 plays in each game. One of them was missed when Gino threw the ball low to Ford. That was a mistake, but obviously the other 2 interceptions where he just stared down the receiver, and instead of pulling the trigger, he hesitated, he thought, and then he did it again. And by that time, the DB had jumped around.
Right.
And then remember, we have to remember that our tight end, who's an absolute stud, is not playing at 100%. He's not playing at 100%, and that makes a huge difference. So just everyone chill and relax. And if you want to be negative, don't bother calling in. Keep it to yourself. Go bury yourself in your, closet or your garage or whatever you want to do, and just be negative there. We don't want to hear it.
All right, Mikey, take care, my friend. He drives in from LA for these games and comes and sees me at the Torch. He's worked up. And again, there's been plenty of poor play. There's been plenty of poor play, but as John Ivey says, Raiders have a foundation of players. They have a nice foundation of some good players. But the issue is Geno's supposed to be one of them. I think Geno's a good player. Geno's playing poorly. Quarterbacks at times play poorly, but you can't keep playing poorly in this league. You got to turn it around and hope to see that happen soon. Detroit 2, Cleveland 1. Cleveland is batting now in the bottom of the 9th. So they have a pretty good lineup ready to go. No outs. Bottom of the 9th, no outs for Cleveland going up against Detroit. Remember, Detroit had one of the best records, if not the best record in baseball throughout the summer. Then Cleveland caught them as Detroit just hit the rails and couldn't win. And they get to play each other here. 2-1 Detroit here. I'll keep you up to this game. George in Pennsylvania. Thanks for waiting, George. You're up next.
JT the Brick, I love your show. I've been watching the Raiders since I'm 5 years old. I'm 65 today. I have I can honestly say I've seen every important Raider game live as it happens on television. I've been to a couple of great ones. I've been to the Tuck Rule game. I've been to the game where Kenny was started his first game. He completed something like 14 or 15 in a row against the Colts. And I have a good feel for the Raiders.
Okay.
I kind of predicted the season was going to start like this, but I have a very, very strong feeling that the Raiders are going to morph into an extremely dangerous football team. They're not that far away.
Yeah, I would like to know why. What gives you the encouragement that you think they're going to turn the corner and all that? Let us know.
Because of the way they're being coached, because of their attitude, because of the way they played last week against the Bears. I've never seen a game like that where a team lost, where they should have won. And I think that's going to work to their advantage down the road, because that's a game that you will never forget.
Right.
And I think they have a lot of talent. Genty, Max Crosby is the greatest football player I've ever seen in my entire life. And I think they're not that far away. I really feel that they're going to become very dangerous.
Well, thank you for the call. I mean, again, like I don't care. I don't want to say I don't care. I do care. I don't know what every caller is going to be like. I don't know if it's going to be super negative because they're 1-3, or we're going to be able to mix in one like that where it's a guy who's been a Raider fan longer than I've been working for the team and sees something and thinks like it's going to turn around. Cleveland got a runner on third. There was a ground ball up the middle, bad throw to first, and runner went to third base on the overthrow. So Cleveland with the runner on third down 2-1, a fly ball will be able to tie this game up. Cleveland's looking to win this game in the bottom of the ninth inning. All right, when we come back, Jeff Sherman will join us from the Westgate, one of the premier handicappers in town. So we'll talk to him coming up here. Brought to you by the Black Hole, home of football's most notorious fans, 40 chapters worldwide. Now they have their own store at the Golden Nugget, which I think is really cool. Black Hole members save 20%. There's no better time to become a lifetime member than right now. Join at theblackhole.com. Once a member, always a member. Yes. So now Gangster Raiders telling us what we can call Gino, huh? Guy who was predicting wins by 30 points is telling us what we can call Gino now, huh? But we have to call you Gangster Raider. Why don't we call you Garnett King until you make a prediction right? Don't tell people what their name should be called. Like you have the balls to go up to Geno Smith to his face and call him Eugene. Tell me how that works out. All right, runner on, how many outs here? One out. Okay, one out, runner on third.
When you need legal advice, you need the brothers. You need the
Yes.
They're my attorneys, and they should be yours too. For personal injuries and accidents, reach out to the DeCastroverde Law Firm. Let their family fight for yours.
Corey's calling
From?
Illinois.
Yeah. Put him on hold. Yeah.
He was already at it coaching.
All right, let's get Jeff Sherman up here.
What's up, Las Vegas? Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. And Jacob Taylor here. Right now, interest rates have created hesitation. But here's the reality. We all know they're coming down. That's right, Dad. And at the real estate
Cleveland looking for one run. They got a runner on third. Detroit. Fly ball, Detroit wins. Detroit wins. It's a good win by Detroit, man. Their bullpen closed it. Wow.
702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE. EXP Realty, license number 38886. Call for details.
Talk to Aaron Taylor,
the real estate guy. Plumbers,
Yep, we're good.
contractors, and DIYers.
You have him on hold, Jess?
Yes.
Thank you.
Supplies to power your next project. Open early and stocked with everything you need. Stop by South Decatur near Russell. McFadden Deal Industrial Hardware. Fast, easy, and built for the pros.
Get ready to raid the pubs this football season at PT's Gold. PT's Place, Great American Pub, and Sierra Gold. Join us on game days to catch the game. Enjoy ice cold $3 Blue Moon Lights and Coors Light Pints. $20 Topo Chico buckets. Plus game day food favorites. You can win free tickets to catch Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, along with a $100 Allegiant bar credits, $100 Uber card, and team gear to wear throughout the game. Your home for football and fun is at PT's Gold, PT's Place, Great American Pub, and Sierra Gold.
This fall, get in the game and earn cash.
Eric can see the Oakland Coliseum from his window. Nice. Yeah, that is a tough loss for Cleveland.
You'll be eligible for cashback points for every wager made, win or lose on the William Hill Nevada mobile sports app. Earn even more cashback points for teasers and same-game parlay wagers made on the app. To enroll in fall rewards, opt in and to see participating locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by the Casa Verde Law Group. If you get injured in an accident, call 702-222-9999.
Smith is under center. He moves. Trey Tucker in motion. It's a handoff off left guard to Ashton Jennings. Stutters low. And he's got the speed to the near side. Jennings to the 30. Breaks and tackle 20. Jennings. Good. Deuces goodbye. Ashton Jennings, a 64-yard touchdown. And for the first time in his Raiders career, he breaks one off to the end zone.
Yeah, nice call by Jason Horowitz. Fired up. JT, back with you as we continue. Brought to you by M-Ride. Take the luxury bus to the game, to concerts. Come right out of there. For the price of a Lyft or an Uber, you're getting a better experience. MRide.com, code word JT the Brick, and get the deal that my family gets. My family likes to take M-Ride. It works out well. Jeff Sherman joins us, Senior VP of Risk Management, one of the best handicappers and sports fans in town. He joins us every few weeks. So, Jeff, let's begin that Raider game and how that line was kind of interesting here, because the Raiders had an opportunity to win it on a game-winning field goal, and it was blocked. And the big picture is, how many of these games this year through 4 weeks have ended dramatically on a block kick and a change of the final outcome? It's been wild.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And, with the Raider game specifically, on game day, we saw a lot of Raiders support. It ended up closing Raiders minus 2.5. And a lot of people felt that it was a bigger game for the Raiders at that point and saw a lot of support from that perspective. So we did pretty well with that game. But like you mentioned, a lot of crazy things coming down to the end of the games.
Tell me what's going on going forward with Lamar Jackson and the moving line, not only this week coming up, but with their odds to win the Super Bowl, as they were a nice favorite coming into the year.
Yeah, a lot of reaction today. And, we suspected he might miss a little bit of time after what we saw this past weekend in Kansas City. Made an adjustment to the game against, let's see, they're playing Houston at Baltimore this week, and the Texans are now 2.5-point favorite on the road when they were catching about 7 points just a week ago in this spot. So there's a lot more than just Lamar, too. They lost a lot of other players on the defensive end this past week, so it's really compounded. Their Super Bowl odds are up to double digits now at 10-1. They were sitting in the 6 to 7-1 range for a while, but they've got a lot of issues, and we're expecting him to miss next week, obviously, as well, with the Rams laying 4.5 to him next week, and then maybe coming back after the bye week. So Baltimore in a bit of trouble here.
I'm noticing a significant line move from the original line for the Rams and the 49ers on Thursday night. We talked about no Nick Bosa, the injuries. Purdy's toe is not 100% here. Rams have looked really good. They won a dramatic game against Indy. How do you handicap this with such a big recent line move here?
Yeah, we opened the Rams a 3.5-point favorite, and today it reached 6.5.
Wow.
And just like you mentioned, it has to do with Purdy and a bunch of other players that injured too. I'd say outside of Baltimore, San Francisco is the second most beat up team. So you're seeing a lot of moves against these teams. And right now Rams up to 6.5, and I think the public will be supporting him in the Thursday night game.
Also, the Vikings back-to-back road games in Europe. How does that affect that team here, too? They don't have J.J. McCarthy. Carson Wentz has experience. This time they're taking on the Browns. I see the Browns here plus 3.5 here. Just don't know. A lot of people don't know to trust the Vikings if they can't get the ball to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, interesting now with we saw some sharp support on the Browns to get the money towards Cleveland this morning, but it was just announced that Dylan Gabriel is going to replace Joe Flacco for Cleveland. So now it's inched back up to Minnesota 3.5 flat.
One other game I wanted to get to here with you is the Eagles and the Broncos here. The Broncos have only won 2 games this year, and they're a fan favorite for a lot of people. They beat Tennessee, the worst team in football, and they beat the Bengals last night without Joe Burrow. So for the Broncos getting getting 3.5 at the Eagles here, I thought the Eagles would be a little bit of a heavier favorite. What do you have here currently with the Eagles and the total on this game?
We're sitting at Eagles minus 3.5 and 43.5. And just like you mentioned, we opened it a little bit higher at 5.5, but it's been one-way traffic from the Sharps getting this down to 3.5. And we saw something similar a couple weeks ago when the Rams played at Philadelphia. And right now the Sharps are fading the Eagles at home. So we're seeing a trend with that.
And last one, this time the Jaguars. It was on the right side of that. I thought the Jaguars was the better play against the Niners because of the Niners' injuries. And the Jaguars beat the Texans the week before. I thought that'd give them a bit of a mental boost here. They get the Chiefs at home. Really interesting game for the Chiefs, where you have them coming into this game as a road favorite in Jacksonville, a team that's playing really well.
Yeah, we're sitting at Kansas City minus 3.5 even money, and you're seeing some places that have the Chiefs minus 3, minus 20. So some back and forth movement there, but a lot of respect for Jacksonville in the marketplace right now with a popular Chiefs team on the road.
Jeff Sherman, VP of Risk Management over at the Westgate. So tell me how you've evolved on handicapping these baseball games where the wild card round, the home team gets 3 games. There's no travel here. And overall, how that affects a team, especially that they get to keep playing and they don't get a bye week to maybe keep the momentum going.
Yeah, well, everything's predicated on the pitching matchups in these series. So that's why you saw Detroit a favorite in the series, even though they didn't have home field advantage. They were open minus 125 before today's game. So it's really, you see a lot of that. And then the totals is one thing. When you talk about evolve, look at the totals on the games. The Detroit-Cleveland was 6. The other 3 today are 7. So very low relative to what you see in the regular season.
And also Yankees-Red Sox, man. If the Red Sox own the Yankees in the Bronx, and the Yankees are a short favorite in this series here. Tell me what you're seeing there. Where's the sharp money coming in on this series?
Yeah, it's been on the Yankees. In the series, which we opened $1.80, it's up to $1.90. And in the game today, Fried against Crochet, it's been supported up to Fried $1.32 after opening $1.25. So right now, more Yankee support.
Yeah, and the Dodgers are interesting to me because this, Jeff, is a time where I think they're going to get rewarded having to play in this wild card round when they should have got a bye. Their payroll should have had them as the best team in all of baseball all year long. But, man, were they a bumpy ride this year so far, and the Reds are playing with house money coming in, but Dodgers a heavy favorite.
Yeah, they're a $3 favorite in the series, plus 250 on the Reds, and for the game one, it's $1.90 with Cincinnati plus 170. But just like you mentioned, even though it's 3 games in LA, it's a tough predicament because if they don't win tonight, then their backs are against the wall, facing elimination for the next 2 games.
I know a lot of people didn't think the Aces would have this much trouble and have to go to a 5th game against the Fever without Caitlin Clark. What's been interesting about that series from a handicap perspective?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Aces support, and they're laying 8 points in a decisive game tonight. So expectations that they'll win with minus 360 on the money line. But the Fever are playing with house money, like you mentioned, and even without Caitlin Clark and a bunch of other players, they're really down 4 players. So it'll be an interesting game tonight. But if the Aces were to make it out of that, then Phoenix is waiting for them, and the Aces would have home court advantage in the finals.
And finally, Golden Knights. I know are heavy favorites this year. Tell me about where you have the Knights coming in, the odds to win not only the Western Conference but the Stanley Cup. As Marner's here now with Eichel, and that's one of the best lines in all of hockey. There's a lot of optimistic Knight fans listening to us.
Yeah, sitting at 8-1, they're one of the favorites, obviously, and they improved after they got Marner from 10 down to 8, 7-2 for the Western Conference, and they're favorites for the Pacific Division. And we even have their opening night game up, so you can bet on that right now. So a lot of support, and they got a preseason game tonight too. They're playing in Colorado, so there's plenty of ways to bet on the Knights.
And as you know, Bethpage Black is in my hometown where I grew up. I went to Farmingdale High School. I'm disgusted by the performance as Team USA built such a deep hole that they dug out of to make it competitive. But I thought the behavior of the fans was so poor. Tell me overall from a gambling perspective, the type of handle, Europe winning, which was the right side here, but overall as a great golf handicapper and insider, what you thought of the behavior of the New York mostly fans there at Bethpage Black.
Yeah, the behavior's been getting excessive, and it's been getting like that each year. And it needs to curtail a little bit because it's really getting personal at some of the players. You know, I mean, we understand the event, and just like they have the event in Scottsdale each year on the PGA Tour where the fans get boisterous, we should be able to see that without it being a personal attack on the players. But as far as wagering on the event, a little bit more European support. I thought Keegan Bradley did a poor job putting his team together for the first couple days in the matchups of foursomes and four balls. That's where the improvement would have needed to lie in. And I wouldn't expect to see Keegan Bradley return as captain when they head over to Ireland for the next one.
No doubt about it. Thank you, Jeff, for the time as always. Love going out to the Westgate. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, JT.
Jeff Sherman. Nice to get him on every 2 weeks. We have the sharpest gambling minds on this show. We got Bill Krakenberger joining us next week, Lee Sterling, who's having a really nice winning season with us, and more gamblers coming into my show there because I think we have more advertising dollars on this show than some gambling networks and some better guests. So they want to come here, and they're always asking me to come on. And we have a core group, and we'd like to add winners. We want to add winners to the show that can help you win money gambling. So Detroit won earlier today. We'll get you an update with the Padres here on the other side because these games are really important. If a road team can win like Detroit did, or if the Padres can pull it off, it changes everything. As we look at the series here, big game with the Yankees and Red Sox tonight. That is a monster game. Jess is on the board. I appreciate her. Hour number 2, Alex Eshelman will join us, and Dalton Wasserman from PFF. And we're moving in. We're moving now towards the Indianapolis Colts for the rest of the week. I'll get into some of my initial thoughts as I sat down with head coach Pete Carroll earlier today. All right, I'm going to do a quick little monologue here and then bail out of this. So I'll be here for about another 15 minutes. We'll do that. Another 15 minutes. See what we have here.
Gambler's bonus hits again. On August 2nd, Candace hit 4 queens, clearing her gambler's
excellence every day. And now here's JT.
All right, we got to hour number 2 of the show today on a moving fast Tuesday. I already interviewed Pete Carroll. You'll hear that coming up. I'll tell you all about that as we get rolling in. And he was very optimistic. That was the theme of the day. And, you know, some people don't think the coach has the right to be optimistic. I've never heard that before. The coach saw a lot of positives in the loss. The most important thing was they lost the game. He's aware of that. He said they should have won the game. They didn't win the game. He's got to get the team back on track so they can come through and win. So what we want to do now and what we want to do the rest of the week is really dive into what the Raiders need to do to go win this game. And the Colts are very impressive coming into it. So the Colts, not only a favorite, a 6.5-point favorite in this game. So the Vegas bookmakers think the Colts are a heavy favorite. That's a big number here, but the Raiders are going up against Daniel Jones. I didn't think that Daniel Jones would have this type of year, the year that he's having now. He's playing at a very high level because I watched Daniel Jones play throughout his career, mostly with the New York Giants, and he was a turnover machine. Very athletic, a good running quarterback, a guy who can make a lot of different plays when he needed to. But normally he would get into a scenario where he would turn the ball over. So we're looking at that now. Here's where the Colts rank now in some of the more power rankings in football. And as I told you for years, this is when I start looking at stats. I start looking at stats this time of year because I think the stats start to matter. So the Colts are averaging 30.8 points a game. That's a good number. They're averaging over 30 a game. The Raiders are nowhere near that. So this is a team that shows up and puts up 30. And that's a problem for the Raiders, and the Raiders got to be better at this. Okay, when it comes to points allowed per game, they're giving up 20.8. So their point differential is 10. That's a good number. I mean, they're scoring 10 more points than giving up a game. That's how you make the playoffs. I think their most impressive stat is yards per game at 397. 397 yards a game. They're passing for 261, which is okay. It's not elite, but it's very good. Rushing yards per game, 136. That's a good number. That's a really good number. I also think third down efficiency, close to 40%, and they've intercepted the ball 4 times. The Raiders have only intercepted the ball twice this year. The Raiders' scoring average per game is 19.3. Okay, remember, we're going up against a team. The Raiders average 19.3. The Colts average 30. That's a big difference. Embrace the shootout. So for the Raiders, other good things for the Raiders, because there's some good things happening. Passing yards per game. You know, if you look at what they're doing at 215, that should improve. Geno's not getting a lot of attempts because he's turning the ball over a lot. So for the Raiders now, they're rushing the ball at 114 yards per game, which is not bad. I think with that number there, you average 115 yards a game on the ground. All you got to do is get the passing game going, and you can get back into this. So I want to hear what your early thoughts are in regards to this game. I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm a simple guy. I'm going to keep this really simple. I think the Raiders got to get to Daniel Jones. He's at 72% on the year passing percentage. That's a good number. Geno was kind of hanging in there for a while too when he was with Seattle. 72%. But when he is under pressure, his number drops to 50%. So the Colts are really good. They're playing well. As Pete Carroll told me, he did not expect this team to be as good. The rest of the league didn't expect this team to be as good as they are now. And Pete talked about, there's always a team like this every year, right? There's a team every year that you look at that all of a sudden they come up and they're doing well and you didn't expect them to do it. That would be the Indianapolis Colts this year. They're the team that no one expected them to play at this level with Daniel Jones, and they are. So I watched Daniel Jones play a lot of football, a tremendous amount of football, and I believe that you can get to him. And I also think that Daniel Jones is going to be the type of player, too, that he's playing well, very similar to Geno in the past. He's playing well. And when you're playing well, if you're not Joe Montana and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, you're not going to have a good game every game. Every game you're not going to be great. And we're looking at a team now that has been playing well above what their expectations were. And we're going to find out at the end of the year if the Colts win 11 or 12 games that they were really good. I'm hoping the Raiders and Max Crosby get to Daniel Jones. I haven't talked to Max about this matchup, but I would assume when Max saw this matchup on the schedule and it was Daniel Jones earlier in the year, he said, okay, I'll be there for this one because I think Max can get to Daniel Jones. Just be careful if Daniel Jones runs with the ball because he could be very effective. He could be very effective in a running game. He's a big guy. He's very athletic. So we're taking your calls on this game. And again, it's been quiet around here a couple of days. It's been quiet around here. I got a long way to go this year to the bye week. Okay, I need the Raider fans who are listening to me in this day part to kind of wake up and get going a little bit here. 702-365-9200. And really the big topic today after my conversation with the head coach is he's optimistic that the team is doing some good things. Can you handle that in the Raider Nation and hear that there are some good things happening and understand that they're trying to build on that? I think a lot of rational fans have called us today and said, yeah, I don't like the way the team's record is. I think the team's made some mistakes in some big games, but overall, Pete sees that he's encouraged about seeing a team that he overall wants to have later on in the year. A really good running team, a great defense that can stop the run. But the problem is now that he has a quarterback turning over the ball consistently. And the biggest problem now is special teams. So special teams is a problem around the league. It is a really big problem around the league. And with this problem around the league, the Raiders can't be terrible at special teams. They were not good at all against the Commanders, and they gave up a block kick to lose a game. Now, I'm still a little bit confused by how Laulu was in that position and not another tight end or someone else who's more athletic to get outside and block that. But as I talked to Eric Allen yesterday on Raiders Roundtable, he played that position when he had his Hall of Fame career on special teams early on, where he came off the edge and tried to block kicks. And he said it was very difficult to do that, very hard to do that. You have to be almost perfect if you're going to be able to do that. And the way you do it is you got to come around the corner fast. You got to know the snap count. It appears that Chicago knew the snap count or had an idea when the ball was going to be snapped. That was said by the guy who blocked it. I'm going to believe him for saying that. And they were able to get around unblocked, almost unblocked, and make a great athletic play. So when that happens, it goes up against you in a bad way. That has to be corrected. That's unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable to lose a game because you didn't block someone. And now the breaking news today, it looks like Colt Miller is going to go to IR. Ian Rappaport reported earlier on the severity of the injury. When I interviewed Pete Carroll today, we did not know the severity of the injury. They were working out some other guys. Ian Rappaport, less than an hour ago, said Colt Miller received bad news on his ankle following further testing. It's a high ankle sprain and a hairline fracture rather than just a sprain. The MRI revealed the sprain and CT scan revealed the fracture. He's headed for injured reserve. So with that going down, we got to get used to Colt Miller not playing here. And with Colt Miller not playing here, the Raiders are going to have to play at a very high level. They do not have a backup player who can play at his level, as far as I can tell. But they do have professional offensive linemen that they drafted or backups who can go over there and maybe play. People are asking me about switching out our right tackle, DJ Glaze, to left tackle for the blind side and then moving someone over. Yeah, that's a possibility, whatever the coaches think. There's a lot of thinking going on over there at the Intermountain Health Performance Center to try to get this one right, and they're going to have to get it right. And they're going to have to get it right in a big way. 702-365-9200. Dino in Toronto. Good to hear from you, Dino. What's happening?
What's up, JT? Another beautiful day up here in Toronto. About 80, believe it or not. It's been an amazing summer, man. And going into fall. You touched on what I wanted to talk about, JT. Special teams. I think I didn't expect our special teams to cause some of the problems that we're seeing. You mentioned the Washington game. Obviously, last week we all saw what happened. But I mean, more importantly, I was a little bit upset at the fact that Chicago was starting in our end of the field the majority of the game. And, I mean, as good as our defense is, I mean, these guys are going to get tired eventually, man. And you can see it in the last drive, Chicago pretty much got that touchdown, unscathed. You can't expect the defense to bail us all the time. The offense has got to do a lot more to control the time. I mean, queuing up times actually is almost as good as anything other than getting points, obviously. But I just think that we're not there yet, man. I mean, it's a new coaching staff. I'm not trying to make excuses. The only thing that I saw that this team showed me is that, honestly, JT, they had no business beating Chicago or even being in the game. The fact that they fought and almost won the game if it wasn't for that block punt or block kick says a lot about the character of the team. So
hold on a second. I thought the Raiders were the better team with Ashton Genty having 3 touchdowns. And I thought if it was a clean game, an even game where Geno didn't have all those turnovers, I thought the Raiders were a better team than the Bears, and they would have beat the Bears maybe 7 out of 10 times. I was not impressed with the Bears. They didn't take advantage of a lot of the turnovers they got. The Raiders had the lead late in the game and gave up a late touchdown. So I thought the Raiders, in that game at least, were probably the team that should have won that game.
I mean, you give up 3 interceptions, all due respect. I mean, I don't think Geno's going to continue like this either. I think you touched on something as well. Eventually, everything evens out. I mean, Indianapolis got off to a good start. No one expected it, but, they haven't hit their stretch of, bugs and injuries and stuff like that like everyone does. So, I mean, every week changes, right? So, I mean, honestly, JT, the defense can't bail us out, man. We're just not that deep. We're not that deep. I mean, and the offense has got to do a better job of controlling the clock so that they give these guys a break so that when we need a stop in the end, these guys got their energy, right? But special teams for me was the big eye-opener, honestly. A lot of things I saw that were really hurting us, man, and they just put a lot of pressure on our defense. Kirk Morrison said something really good on Q's show yesterday, and he said, hey, there's a lot of pros on this team. It's next man up. One guy goes down, it's another man's opportunity to prove to this organization if he belongs and if he can be a starter or if he can be special. So, I mean, we have a lot of no-names here. I'm sure we're about to see
trying to do and what this team would like to do overall. The team's not there just yet. And I'm not saying that I think they were guaranteed to be there. I'm not saying that I think the team, was supposed to be 4-0. I didn't have that, but I think the team being 2-2 is something that should have happened. I think they should have been 2-2. And I'm really disappointed, not despondent, but I'm very disappointed that the team isn't 2-2. Because 2-2, I don't know. I'm not saying 2-2 would have got them to the playoffs this year, but 2-2 would have got them to 3-3. And 3-3 with this team would be pretty good because they're going through a bunch of things right now that they're trying to compete and figure out. And John Spytek and Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly and everybody putting this team together has a vision of where they should be. They're not there yet. We all know that. We all know that they're not where they need to be. But you could still be 2-2 and not be an elite team. And I think that one loss could be an important loss if we don't get it back at Indy. Beating Indy shouldn't be an impossibility. Playing Indianapolis with Daniel Jones should not be something anybody's scared of. It should be something that people should embrace and say, hey, let's go in there and play on a fast track, get Geno going. And I'm going to be very interesting to see what happens in this game in regards to Geno's numbers compared to what we're going to see very quickly against Daniel Jones's number. Because, as I say this on the radio, Daniel Jones, I watched with the Giants. I watched Geno Smith in Seattle. I thought Geno Smith in Seattle was better than Daniel Jones with the Giants, but Daniel Jones is playing unbelievable now. I didn't expect that to happen. Who did? Do you know anybody on God's green earth? Anybody? I'm talking anybody that thought that Daniel Jones would start. I thought that was a possibility, but Daniel Jones would be 3-0. And let me tell you, Indy should have beat the Rams. They had a player who dropped the ball going into the end zone. They had some big mistakes in that game and penalties. But I'm looking at this as a team. The Raiders don't have to get lucky to beat Indy. They just got to play well. Max Crosby, Brock Bowers, Geno Smith, A.J. Cole, Daniel Carlson, Jeremy Chin, Isaiah Palomal, Devin White, good players here. Malcolm Koonce, Tyree Wilson woke up in the last game. The Raiders got some good players, but losing Colt Miller makes this very unique. The Raiders have to make sure that they can get something out of their left tackle for a while, because if Colt Miller's injury is serious, as Ian Rappaport's reporting that, he could be out a while.